Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the grand opening of the Woodford Reserve Distillery's new Welcome Center. I'm Chris Morris, Master Distiller here. We are standing or sitting on historic ground, one of Kentucky's oldest distilling sites, where Elijah Pepper began crafting whiskey back in 1812. And it was here where legendary master distiller James Christopher Crowe perfected his bourbon-making methods, which today are the standards of identity for bourbon whiskey, including the sour mash process and the use of new charred oak barrels in maturation. Today, Woodford Reserve continues the innovative spirit that Crowe created. Our iconic copper pot stills, our cypress wood fermenters, our limestone water all help create the world's finest bourbon. We also boast of the only 19th, 20th, and 21st century heat-cycled barrel warehouses in the entire world, ensuring that every drop of Woodford Reserve seeps deeply into the charred and toasted white oak, giving Woodford Reserve its rich color and its signature flavor. So guests, when they tour Woodford Reserve, get to see every part of the bourbon-making process. And this past year, we welcomed a record 152,000 visitors from all across the world. Isn't that great? And to tell us more about that is Catherine.
Now, let me tell you a little bit about our new Woodford Reserve Welcome Center behind me. It reflects a modern take on a traditional bluegrass farmhouse. We hope guests will feel an immediate, warm, hospitable welcome as they enter. The building itself includes a main hall, ticketing area, seating, restrooms, and an intimate bar, along with outdoor entertaining spaces. Materials used in the production of the refurbishment of the farmhouse include oak and limestone, both a nod to our bourbon making process. The artwork in the main hall is all Kentucky artists of Kentucky landscapes. There's a large aerial view as well of the entire distillery grounds, giving guests a nice overview before they depart on tour. So all of our tours will begin now, starting here from the Welcome Center. Our guests will load our tour bus, go directly across the street, where they will tour our fermentation, distillation, maturation, and bottling before ending their tour in our visitor center for a tasting.
I'd like to offer my welcome to everyone this morning who came to visit us at our beautiful distillery. I always enjoy the drive up, the short drive up from Louisville, and it reminded me today of one of the special things about our distillery here, and that's really just the sheer beauty that we're surrounded by. When you turn off of 60 on the Grassy Springs Road, those rolling bluegrass hills, and you see the thoroughbred farms that are our neighbors, it always reminds me of what a beautiful place this is, and that's one of the things that makes it special. And I think the new Visitors Center, which we are all gathered here today for, is another testament to the beauty of our distillery. Our distillery is truly the cornerstone of the Woodford Reserve brand. And I really believe that there's a bit of this place, our home place, in every glass of Woodford Reserve that is enjoyed around the world. The second thing I think that makes Woodford Reserve such a special place is our people. And it all started with our former chairman, Owsley Brown II. Owsley had a vision. In the mid-1990s, he wanted to create a home place for bourbon in Kentucky where folks could come and enjoy the history of whiskey. Brown-Forman renovated this historic distillery, and in 1996, we opened it to visitors for tours. We also, at that time, introduced a brand named Woodford Reserve that was built on flavor and packaged in a revolutionary flask bottle. I want to share with you the exact words that Owsley Brown II spoke 23 years ago when we opened our distillery. This project has been a labor of love for everyone involved. A love of this place, a love of history, and a love of making superb whiskey. Those words are still true today. They inspire the people who continue in that same tradition. From our Master Distiller Chris Morris and Assistant Master Distiller Elizabeth McCall to our home place and production teams that are here with us today. I truly believe that Owsley Brown II would be very proud today.
Well, what a thrilling day for not only for Brown-Forman, but also for our industry and our entire Commonwealth. You know, as Chris and Catherine and Mark were speaking, I started thinking back to 1996 when Woodford Reserve was born. Our historic bourbon industry back then was really just starting to get back on its feet, thanks to visionaries like Owsley Brown II, who foresaw the coming amber wave of super premium American whiskeys. And just 3 years later, with Woodford Reserve being one of the main inspirations, the KDA created the Kentucky Bourbon Trail Tour so visitors from around the world could experience the art and science behind our timeless craft. Now, 20 years later, Kentucky Bourbon is a thriving economic and tourism powerhouse for our Commonwealth with $8.6 billion in annual economic impact, 20,100 jobs carrying over $1 billion in payroll, 1.4 million stops on our Kentucky Bourbon Trail and our Kentucky Bourbon Trail Craft Tour distilleries, and $2.3 billion in unrivaled and unparalleled capital investment across 32 Kentucky counties. So as we celebrate National Bourbon Day later this week, on behalf of the KDA and all of our members, let me say thank you to Brown-Forman for its continued investment and restoration of this treasured distillery in these hallowed grounds, and congratulations for being one of the most popular and picturesque stops on our legendary Kentucky Bourbon Trail. You continue to inspire us to dream big, to look to the future, and to more importantly, responsibly enjoy great Woodford Reserve whiskey.